Hello and welcome to my garden and the dinosaurs who live there. Well, we're finally in July, not that you could tell it from the weather, but we're at the point where the garden is really starting to give back. After all of the preparation work, the building of beds, the filling of beds, the sowing of seeds, the transplanting of plants, etc. We're now at the point where we're getting some harvests, which is great. So today I'm going to have a scoot around the garden and I'm going to harvest some stuff. We've also had some challenges with the weather, so I'll point out some of the things that have gone a little bit awry because of that, and just generally give you a little look at what's good and maybe what's not so good in the garden at this moment in time. Right, I think it's time to harvest my second pot of first early potatoes. This again is Caledonian Peril, and there are, or were, 2 seed potatoes in this pot. It's a 20-litre pot, so it's quite small. And yeah, let's see how we get on. Okay, let's get the tops off. Now this is all collapsed over, but a lot of that is due to the fact we've had some really high winds actually. 2 days ago we had gusts of 40 miles an hour. Not great. Could do without that. And there was a big panic trying to add additional support to the taller plants in the garden. But even although the potatoes aren't particularly tall, they certainly got a bit of a beating. Okie dokie. So I harvested a pot of these about a week and a half ago. I think. And I got some nice potatoes. I was sort of disappointed in that there's still quite a lot of small ones. So we'll see if they're any better. I have been particularly good at keeping up the watering. Now I'm seeing lots of small ones again. Very annoying. Then again, Caledonian Peril, I'll need to look them up. Maybe they do. They tend to be small. Oh, this is not great. I can see immediately I'm not going to be happy. Yeah, lots of potatoes, but very small. That's weird. These were in March. And so they've had plenty of time to grow, they've had plenty of feed. And I have really been on top of the watering, particularly recently. I wasn't initially, I have to say. But yeah, okay. I don't usually have these sorts of problems with my potatoes. Maybe it's because it's a weird growing year, or has been up till now. Then again, I haven't grown Caledonian Peril before, so I'm not going to be a bad workman and blame my tools, so to speak. But I don't know, have any of you grown Caledonian Peril? I'm getting a couple of decent sized ones now, but earth. There's certainly enough of them, but all teeny tiny. Maybe I've got too many in the, maybe I should have only had 1 seed potato in the pot rather than 2, since it was quite a small pot. That's another reason why I may get small spuds. Be interested to hear your thoughts. Maybe it is something as simple as that. I should have just tried 1 seed potato in that pot. Usually I would have 2, but maybe this type takes umbrage with it. Right. Okay, so I don't have any issue with the number of potatoes, lots, but lots of small ones. Now, they will get used, absolutely, but you know, I like potatoes of that size if I'm wanting to boil them, you know, maybe I'd half that, half a few of these, and that would be great. The others, I guess I could boil whole, but or put them into other dishes. But yeah, I am disappointed, I have to say. I've never usually had this sort of problem with my potatoes. It could just be this variety does like space, even although it's a first early. And I had 2 seed potatoes in a 20-litre pot. I'm going to harvest another one now because I'm curious to see if that's going to be a theme. And we'll see. I have initially, and a couple of weeks ago, when I looked at one of the pots, it was really, really dry. But I maintain I have been watering them really quite thoroughly, and actually in the past couple of weeks in particular, I've really been getting at them. Maybe I'm just closing the door after the horse has bolted. Anyway, I'm going to go and get another one and we'll see what that looks like. Okay, another 20-litre pot. Oh, this could be even worse because I put 3 in this. Foolishly, but I had lots of them. Okay, 23rd of March, the potatoes went in, the seed potatoes went in. There are 3 in here, so if the too many potatoes theory is correct, these should be tiny as well. But we'll see. Anyway, here goes nothing. Okay, that lot. Slightly better than the last lot. A few larger ones, but again, not happy with these at all. Okay, yeah, I got more potatoes than I put in, but weight-wise, I don't know whether it's that many more. So, in total, I'll just add this to my basket. So that's out of 2 pots, and it does, you know, there's a good volume, I guess, but just far too many little ones for my liking. So I can't wait to go into the secondaries, the Charlottes. I have a lot more confidence in them. I'm saying it's the variety. It could, you know, it probably isn't. Maybe it's just the way I've grown them this year, which is the same way as I always grow them. So we shall see. Anyway, thoughts in the comments would be lovely. I feel that I've been watering them well recently, and I thought I'd been watering them well even before that, but maybe not. Too many potatoes in a pot. That definitely could be an issue. Certainly the 23rd of March they were sown, so they've had plenty of time as first earlies. Okay, well, lots of potatoes to eat anyway. So I want to look in the 2 brassica cages here down at, well, in the middle part of the garden. There's some calabrese in here that I need to harvest, I know, and I just want to check the other things in here because it is all very, very busy in both of the cages. So yeah, let me get these open and we can have a look and see what they look like. In this particular bed, I had originally sown some, or transplanted some red onions, and they were merely growing before I then put in the brassicas. And the brassicas, of course, have completely crowded out the onions, so I'm just going to take the onions out. If there's some green tops for me to use, then I'll use those. Otherwise, you know, I'll just clear a space in the bed there, although it's not for anything else because the cabbages and cauliflowers and calabrese are still needing plenty of space. So let's have a look in a bit more detail at what we have in here. So at the front here, this is a calabrese that I've already harvested. So I harvested out of here, and you can see there's another little dinky head just grown there, and I'm going to take that off as well because it does look like it could do with coming out. That might be all I'm getting in this. If I can't see anything else that looks like it's going to grow, I'm going to whip this plant out. The leaves can go to the chickens and the quail, and it'll just give me a bit more space for some of the other things. I would have hoped to have got a few more little heads of Calabrese once I took the big one out, but that's not the case. If that's not the case, then that's fine. I got the main one and I've got one little one there. There's a little drinky dinky there. And there doesn't look like there's anything else going to grow here, so this is going to come out. I'll just cut it at the base, and it'll give me a bit more space to work and more space for the other things in this bed. Okay, looking at this Calabrese, I took the main one out and it looks a wee bit rotten there, so I don't think I'm getting anything else, so that's a shame. Just got the one head out of this, so this plant is going to come out as well. And this has revealed my secret weapon against the plants in here being chewed. This is a spearmint plant, and it smells absolutely gorgeous. And I put a couple of spearmint plants in here to try and just deter things from munching on the cabbages. I suppose mice when they were smaller, but I wondered if it would help in slug attacks as well. The reason I went for mint is this bed at the end there has got actual mint growing through, because there used to be a lot of mint in the area that I put these beds down, and some of it's sneaking back through again, and it did last year, and I didn't get any munching off my Brassicas, and I wonder if that had something to do with it. So I wasn't sure whether that mint was going to come back through this year, so I popped these spearmint plants in. Obviously I didn't put them into the ground because this can be really invasive. I just popped it into, well, it was in a pot, and I popped the pot in. So now I've got a bit of space to work. I can now see this Calabrese that has a large head that I better get out because I can see it's wanting to start flowering. So I'm going to get that out, and I can see one of the others I've already cut out that's got another little spear on it. So let's get these harvested. There we go, that's a nice size. Fantastic. I'll leave that in case it wants to give me some additional little shoots. There's another Calabrese in the back I'm going to fight my way in to get. But before I get that, I'm going to get this little guy here, which was another one that grew after I took the main one out. And I think that's the only one. So I'm going to take that little spear off and get rid of this plant as well. Right, okay, let's just look over here now then. Let's see what we have. This is Brussels sprout, and there's a Brussels sprout behind. And I'm going to put supports in now because they will need supported. So I'll do that. And down here, we have the start of a little cauliflower. I hope it's going to grow a bit more than that, but we'll see. This is also cauliflower, but nothing happening yet. And this is also cauliflower, I believe, but it's very tall. I think these are the Romanesco ones that give you the little knobbly centres. So it's not hearting up yet. So we'll see. Look at all that mint that's growing. This is what I was talking about. I'll maybe cut some of that, well I will, I'll cut some of that down just to, so it's not becoming in, sort of getting in the way. And over here you can see the onions that really have been crowded out and they're all flattened. So I'm actually just going to chop these, or pull these I should say, because I don't think they're going to, oh. Oops. Well, I'll maybe treat this as a spring onion then, shall I? I really, will they do anything? Well, they've got a bit more space now, but they're all flattened down. So, I mean, look at this. They look rather embarrassing. Here's some cleavers that's just coming in to join the party. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe the onions can come out. I don't think they're going to do anything. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll get the onions out. I'm going to do a bit of a tidy in this bed as well. And I'm going to support those 2 Brussels sprouts. Okay, this morning's harvest so far. Some first early potatoes. Not great. Well, clean, nice, but not big enough. And some heads of calabrese. A couple of days ago we had 40-mile-an-hour winds. What a blooming nightmare. And it's bad, they're bad enough in the winter, but in the summer when the plants are have all got their lush and sometimes weak growth, and you know there's lots of leaves on things, they don't survive as well in those winds. And if you have a look here at my sweet peas, you can probably tell that the sweet peas are all sort of pointing in that direction. They sort of flopped over to the left hand side because the wind was pushing them in that direction. Now I put some twine round them just to sort of support them, but it just makes it a bit harder to, you can see I'm going to have to pick some flowers today. You can see it's just a bit harder because everything's bumfled up in one side rather than it being nicely collected round the whole of the teepee. So it's annoying, and let me show you what it did to my peas. Ugh. So here we are at the big support structure that on this side has got Greek giganti beans and lots of flowers there and some beans starting to form. Although it's a bit tricky because I think probably some of the peas from the other side are coming through as well. So I'm not entirely sure what's beans and what's peas here at the minute. But if I go around the back, this is Ne Plus Ultra, these peas, and they've grown to, 8 feet tall anyway. And they're quite, you know, quite deep. So the ones here aren't really clinging on to the structure, they're clinging on to each other. And basically during those blooming winds, they halved. They all came down. Fortunately, I don't think there was any breakages, but just using rope and twine, I've sort of pulled them all back up. But as a consequence, you can see here, there's sort of really, it's all mashed together there, so I can't see what's happening underneath. So I was distraught, I really was. But the good news is there's still lots and lots of pea action. So you can see I'm still getting lots of peas and there's still lots of flowers. So I'm going to get a good crop, hopefully, assuming we don't get any more high winds. They're not quite there yet. The pods are filling out, but the peas aren't just yet. But I can't wait, actually. Hopefully I'll get a nice crop out of this lot. Yeah, Ne Plus Ultra. I believe with these, the knack is to leave them till they're well formed and they get to their sweetest, rather than picking them a bit too early when they're maybe not as sweet. But we shall see. Yeah, it was a bit of a shock though. You can see I've got twine and rope there. I've tried not to do it too tightly, just enough to give them that support. The actual bamboo support still seems nice and solid, thank goodness. I think the beans are holding them down at one side and the peas at the other. Hello, what you doing? Dotty dot. I'm getting harvest every day from my raspberries. So look at this. Just loads and loads and loads. So I'm going to take some more of these. Everywhere you look, there's more of these little red beauties. I'm going to grab one of these lettuces as well and take that indoors for tea. There we go, a little gem. Okay, this is the last of my shallots, and you can see there's lots of weeds and things growing in there, so I'll just pull these out now. Weeds. This is Longor shallots. These are actually okay. Well, it's a bit modest in size, but not bad. Okay, I'll tidy these up and show you what we've got. Okay. Nice little bundle of shallots. These are destined to be processed and put into the freezer, I think, along with some that I harvested a week or so ago. Good news is that gives me another pot that I can use for other things and some more compost I can reuse. Look at this metal raised bed. I put two rows across the width of calendula, and they've taken over. So the calendula are doing really well, but they're actually utilising just about all of this bed, which is annoying in a way, but never mind. We do have some beetroot. I don't know whether it's sort of little, maybe 3 beetroot together or 4. You can see some in there, still a bit teeny. But hopefully we'll get a crop from that. I'll pull some out soon actually, baby beets, and then I will let the others grow a bit. But yeah, the calendula, very bright and amazing colours. Over here in this bed, the chard is doing very well and it's sort of crowding out. I'm just going to take that for the chickens. It's crowding out my lettuce somewhat, but not bad. The rocket is flowering, and again the strawberries are doing well. Very lots of leaves. We did have some strawberries, but all leaves and no action to a degree. Got my first tomatoes, and they're actually in one of my outside tomato plants. It's Ailsa Craig, you can see. And I think the other Ailsa Craig here is giving me some tomatoes as well. Yay! So that's 2 outside plants. Sorry about my shadow. In the polytunnel, it's a bit of a disaster zone in here. There's so many peppers taking up space, but I'm getting some fruit forming. There's all sweet peppers rather than chili peppers. I've got 3 cucumbers down here. Cucumbers are not looking very good at all, particularly this market moor. It's looking very sad. This jogger has got a fruit on it now. Whoops. But again, it's looking a bit pants. And I think this is jogger as well, and it's got a little fruit on it too. But yeah, cucumbers not doing well this year. They're alive, but just. Here we are in the triangular bed that I've got the squash growing in just now. I've got 3 mashed potato squash, and over at the edge there is a little butterbean. Over at the edge there, I've got a butternut squash, but it's just about dead, so that wouldn't do anything. I'm hoping that these, or the plan was for these mashed potato squash to grow up this obelisk. But they look like they're quite small plants at the moment. I do have 1 fruit. Hang on, where's my camera? 1 fruit forming there. Yay! On that one, I think that's the only one so far. Yeah, they're all male flowers. But yeah, hopefully we'll get there. The flowers in the round beds are doing great. I'm needing to cut the grass actually, but here's my big Shasta daisies. They're looking great. And then moving up, we've got poppies and calendula and nicotiana in here. And then look over at this one. This is great. Look at the size of the nicotiana here. Lovely nicotiana and cornflowers and calendula and poppies. I love these beds, I really do. And I'm glad that I did what I did, just putting a whole cornucopia of flowers in here. I'm definitely going to do this again. This one's a little bit shorter, but getting there. And this one, masses of nicotiana and cornflowers and poppies and some cosmos in there and some stalks. Yay! These are my Kent blue peas, and you can see why they get their name. These are the earlier flowers, or sort of younger flowers I should say, which are definitely blue, amazing. And then they gradually become this purpley colour. So yeah, they're lovely. Look at that colour. Never seen anything like it. These are the Hurst green shaft that I'm growing in a pot up a little obelisk. And they're a bit dangly over, but yeah, I'm getting lots of peas here. Not quite ready yet, but coming along nicely. Well, there you have it. I'm actually quite pleased with the harvest I got, I have to say. Even the potatoes. It's just lovely at this time of year being able to harvest this stuff. And really, think about then, what you're going to do with the stuff that you've harvested, and enjoy the beautiful taste of homegrown fruit and veg. I'd love to hear how you're getting on with your harvest, how the garden is given this rubbish summer that we're having. But for now, I'll call a halt. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love it if you would consider subscribing to the channel. Just click that subscribe button and click that bell, and you'll be notified anytime I put up any more videos. For now though, I'll say bye bye.